especially when I was talking about punishment. I am strictly against physical punishment or any kind of punishment like mental, physical, verbal, emotional, any. Because there are many other ways to make them realize, children realize that they have done something incorrect, something wrong, then that is fine. I mean, making mistakes is fine. That is how they learn. But when I have done several videos on this topic, and then I still remember like on TikTok I done somewhere they did or teacher they say
yes, I have actually experienced that as well in my practice where the parents would come and say, we've told the teacher to hit, no problem, you hit, we want to, and there's another part where one of the reasons they said that they allow the teacher to hit is they want the teacher to know that we are not a biased kid.
It's like this, social media as I think is a tool. It depends on how you use it. For example, knife, you can chop fruits and vegetables and make a nice salad, or you just can use it to kill somebody. You can't. So it depends on how you use it, and it's a very powerful tool, social media.
What was your experience as a parent?
So my son's 8 years old, so he's not using any social media because he's not matured enough and I'm not allowing him to do it. No, I don't have any plans to do that because social media, especially when you are immature, like when you are using it as a young person, then it can affect a lot, especially to the brain. Social bullying when you grow up, and then they are creating these social standards like if you are a boy then you should have 6 packs, and if you are a girl like looks, and then the products they use, just see how they use, like minimalism is go away, like thrown out of the window, and they overconsume each and everything, and they show this glamorous life, and I know, and we all know as others, it's not like that.
This is my second podcast I'm hosting under the mentorship of Zara. Apparently, she's approved me for a second one. And I have a mother, an entrepreneur, and someone who had done banking for so long, right? So Amali, tell us more about yourself and how did you get into the marketing school?
Okay, it happened 2 years ago. Actually, I started marketing school 2 years ago, but my interest started to form in this parenting, education, psychology with my son. And when he started to go to preschool, that's when we hit with the COVID thing happened, right? So he couldn't go to school, and we all know that online school started. Then he was doing his preschool stuff at home. So then only I got to know, like I saw how he's doing, like how the teachers were interacting with my child. So he was a January born, like he's the youngest in the class. So the teacher was saying it was a coloring activity. Teaching the other side, and my son was drawing, and she was like focusing him to color it perfectly without white spaces and without going out of the line. You have to do it, you have to do. And my son was, his little face was so focused, and he wanted to do, like I know, like he wanted to do, but still he couldn't.
So what did that
Yeah, yes, like one thing he knows, like I want to do it so perfectly, but he's so small, he's so young. Now that what are 3 plus? I mean, like okay. So he was doing it, and then what I figured was like the teacher was putting so much pressure on my child. He wanted to do, but he couldn't. Like you're so young. It takes a lot of skills to do it like that. Now only I know, because I have studied the education part and psychology part. I know it takes a lot of brain work. Hand and eye coordination is a big thing. For a 3-year-old, it's a big thing. So, but now the teacher was forcing, like forcefully, forcing want to use that word. Then Attama was there, my mother was there, and she also like teacher ki ne kaha and work around him like this, not teach. She's also like feeling it that. Okay, now my son was so not ornamental. He was like that, and then I started to wonder like, is this the right way to teach a child? So that is when I started to find things out, like how should I do it with my son. That is when I started to study about the education part, and then it came with the psychology, because every child is different and unique. So it should be an age appropriate thing, and then more I got to know about these things, the more I realized, oh my god, we are doing it all wrong. I was doing it all wrong as a parent.
What stood out to you when you said you were doing it all wrong? What a that made you like, oh my god, I'm doing something.
Yes, oh my god, like I shouldn't force him like this.
So you were also doing it?
Yes, I was.
Oh,
I'm a typical mother. Like we have mothers like that. They have to, now we think like school, they have to do it perfectly. The handwriting should be neat and perfect. Many are like that because they don't have the basic understanding. They don't have it. So what they think is, teaching came to my son, he should be the first. In the schoolwork, he should do everything perfectly, neatly, and he always obey me. Like, if I say something, and then that's it. My way is the highway. But now, more I got into that, this psychology, education, and parenting stuff, I realized, no, that is not it. Parenting is not that. So I started to follow people on YouTube, and I started reading, and then I got a book, a beautiful book from Osho. It's about education, and there I was talking about education and how it should be, like how it should be a center rather than teacher-centered method. It should be a student-centered method. So he was talking about it, and then I realized. Then I read Harari's books, and Sabian was there. That changed my entire view about everything.
Right.
So yes, then I started going into deeper and deeper and finding out more information, and yes, that is how I started the research. And then I understood, like the things that I've learned, I've tried and tested. Okay. So then I understood.
Your son was the guinea pig.
Yes, I tell him that. I tell him. But anyway, like when I do those things with him, and those things I see like, okay, so this is effective. And some things might not work in our context. So okay, so I did do little adjustments, and then okay, so this work. If I tell him like this, he listens. But if I tell him like in this way, he doesn't. Because every child is unique. You have to understand their rhythm.
Yeah.
Then I thought, like, why don't I share these things with other parents, because it's so helpful. And I see like my parents, then I see when I be with them, I understand they should have done it in another way. Then they might have get a better result. So I started Marketing School channel on YouTube first, to share my experience, the knowledge that I gathered, and the books that I've read. I wanted to share those things with parents. So that is how it all began.
Okay, so now that means you already sort of said through one of the reasons why you didn't go to a professional to sort this thing out. You figured, what pushed you to feel like, no, I have to go and learn. Like, this is what was that motivation for you?
What I wanted to do, again, it's my style, I think. I want to get the experience, I want to know how. Rather than somebody teaching me, I want to go to the field and play it, and then only I will,
Learn.
Yes, I want to learn it, and I want to get the experience and the exposure.
You're essentially in the position of the child that you're trying to make. This is how parenting is. You can't only looking at boundary, but you realize, no, even learning parenting, you need to step into it and paint outside the lines to discover
it's a whole new thing, like being a parent. Just because you gave
have a child.
yes, no, I mean, like, yes.
Yeah. Both of them have kids. I have 4 dogs.
So it's like you can give a birth, but it won't make you a parent. It's a big thing. It's a total change. That is how I see it. It's a total change, not because there's another third person in the family, but in our aspects, in myself, like sometimes my child, he pushes me to my limits. And like tolerating and patient, and sometimes most of all understanding another perspective, understanding another person. That is very, very.
You see, essentially start to learn more about yourself when you birth this child.
That is what I was going to say. I read that the best way to know yourself is have a child.
Yes, true.
Yeah, what are the first lessons you learned about yourself? You can also share what you learned.
There are many. The thing that he teaches me things every day. Every day he gives me a new lesson and I learn something from him. He learns something from me. What I learn from this parenting is like it's a journey. Like my son learns to be a grown-up man, and I learn to be. I learn how to unlearn things.
This is the toughest part actually.
Unlearning part, right? It's very hard. And the ego, like mama to my parent, mom kina to my high. The stigma is there because our parents were like that. I mean, mama kina de ahanno. You can't question.
Oh,
And older people are correct.
yes. But අහන්න කියේ දැන් like අපේ society එකේ ගොඩක් කට්ටිය අර there's a way of thinking that's already set. So when you started the YouTube channel, ඔයා කියන දේ කොහොමද response එක ආවේ? කට්ටිය මේක accept කරාද නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ ගෑනුවත් මේවා කවුද මේ කියන්නේ? මේක නෙමෙයි අපේ තාත්තලා කරේ ඒ වගේ
Backlash එකක් තිබ්බද?
Backlash එකක් තිබුණා. Especially when I was talking about punishment. I am strictly against physical punishment or any kind of punishment like mental, physical, verbal, emotional, any. Because there are many other ways to make them realize, children realize that they have done something incorrect, something wrong. Then that is fine. I mean, making mistakes is fine. That is how they learn. But when I have done several videos on this topic, and then I still remember like on TikTok I done gahan nathu lamai hadana puluwan like hadina gawa hadana hodda naha. Some parents they think or teacher gahanna. They say
Yes, I have actually experienced that as well in my practice where the parents would come and say, we've told the teacher to hit, no problem, we want to. And there's another part where one of the reasons they said that they allow the teacher to hit is they want the teacher to know that we are not a biased parent. We are not biased towards our children, so we want to show you, like, see, we are even allowing you to hit. I'm like, there are different ways to show you unbiased. So continue, what was the biggest thing so once you did that?
yes, there were a lot of comments, like hate comments, and they were
comments.
Oh yes, like they were like literally scolding me. I went through all of those comments. I go through those comments. I go through each and every comment on my videos because I want to know what people think. Then only I will be able to do a proper content next time. It's not about me. Like mama mage content ekak. So I'm not. Then it's very hard to do anything in this way. So I read all those comments and I put a heart like we can. I do that as well because each and every comment I value because that is how they think. That is how they think. I accept that. Okay.
That comes to a question on like parenting and social media. Like ඒකේ අර දැන් social media ගැන බලුවොත් like ගොඩක් negative perceptions එක තියෙන ඒ ගැන කොහොමද මේ දැන් parenting topic එක පාවිච්චි කරේ social media channel එක කොහොමද පාවිච්චි කරේ parenting ගැන කතා කරන්න. මොකද they are two opposing things with other people.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're using it to share space awareness, but at the same time, it's like, oh, hey parent, have a way in social media. Have you had to experience that sort of like pressures of doing this on YouTube and stuff? TikTok also.
Yes.
TikTok had a stigma on it before, now
Yes,
it's
now
different.
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's like this. Social media, as I think, is a tool.
Hmm.
It depends on how you use it.
Hmm.
For example, knife, you can chop fruits and vegetables and make a nice salad, or you just can use it to kill somebody.
Hmm.
You can't. It all depends on how you use it, and it's a very powerful tool, social media.
What was your experience as a parent on it?
So my son's 8 years old, so he's not using any social media because he's not matured enough, and I'm not allowing him to do it. No, I don't have any plans to do that, because social media, especially when you are immature, like when you are using it as a young person, then it can affect a lot, especially to the brain. Social bullying and then they are creating these social standards, like if you are a boy then you should have 6 months, and if you are a girl, like looks, and then the products they use, just see how they use, like minimalism is go away, like thrown out of the window, and they overconsume each and everything, and they show this glamorous life, and I know, and we all know as others, it's not like that. Life is not so glamorous, like each and every moment cannot be like that. We can be perfectly with makeup and having nice dresses. No, it's not like that. But when kids, especially teenagers, when they see these things over and over and over again, their brain understand, okay, so this is the reality. My life should be like this. If I am a person, I should be like this. And if I am not, then I am a failure. So, I think before going to that, before opening up a social media account, I'm talking about these young teenagers. So the parents, they have to make sure that the child understands this. Like, they have to have a proper conversation about this. Then only, I think the parents should be giving them the privilege to open a social media account. So in my side, now since my child is 8, I'm not allowing him to do any social media things, but he used the internet, he used YouTube. But that is also, we have limited. We have certain tools that as parents we can use. So using them, we have limited, and we are monitoring. We are allowing the child to use the space, but we are monitoring it. So that is, I think that is something really, really important. That we can't say like YouTube balanne, TV balanne. We can't say, because that is so incorporated with the daily lives.
Yes. Then why again attack me? Now his school, his friends, now I know children from as young as 3 years, 3.5, using TikTok, Instagram and all of that. I've had exposure to it. Okay. And as a result, I have had to work with 8-year-old children with formally diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Okay, one of the contributors with this. Now, how do you manage? Has your child ever come to you and been like, Mama, like my friend is using it, how come I don't get to use it? You are on YouTube, you are on TikTok,
You have a channel.
and you are Has he come up with that and asked you? Because I've also met your son.
Yeah.
He'll ask questions. He'll be like, what is this happening? Can I do this? Yeah, so how is
He's
that?
always with a lot of questions, like he's so curious. So, yes. So, he has come up with these things, like my friend was saying about this video and this song, like they talk, they talk and they share the knowledge and they go with the trends. They have these different kind of phases in life. So what I say is, okay, so let's watch it together. So I let him use it under my supervision, and I know what he's going through and what he's watching, whether it's good or whether it's not good. And if it is not good, like it's not appropriate, age appropriate, then I would say like, see, now this is not good for your age because of this. See, this is so violent. Yes, I give him a reason. This is so violent. And you know what happens to your brain when you see violent things? The brain thinks, this is the right thing to do. And then when the next situation comes in your life, you act violently. It's not about you, it's how the brain works. It's the same for everyone. So I give him a little bit of education as well. And then he, okay, right. Then can I watch this when I become a teenager? I said, yes. Okay. So yes. When your brain get matured, yes, you can watch. But for now, let's keep it as it is, and later on you can watch him. And then I give him a reason, and then I stop him. But for each and everything, we can't. I mean, like, we can't give a reason for that. But still, I try my level best to go with the flow, because if we say no to something, especially with these violent things, when if he's asking about a question about sexual health,
You have a video on that.
yes. Yeah. So I mean, yes, I have done about LGBTQ community. So if they have, he asked so many questions about the sex orientation or the physical body. Why my body is different from yours? I have a penis, but you don't have. Why is that? Like, why?
My 3-year-old asked me. Do we all have?
You actually told me that, right?
So, like, now normally parents, they feel so uncomfortable to talk about these kind of topics, right? But
නම පාවිච්චි කරන්න සමහරක් වෙලාවට right? They will give something else.
Yes. I mean,
Taxi bucky.
oh, they
Kibula.
I don't know why that's so. My son was saying one day a banana.
Yes.
Yeah, the banana.
Numbers, screenshots, everything.
No. And then now what I say, like, okay, you can use names, but the right name is this. I always encourage him to talk about the questions he had. ඉතින් මගෙන් අහන්න නැතුව මගේ පුතා වෙන කාගෙන්ද අහන්න? මම ඒකට උත්තරයක් දෙන්නේ නැත්නම් හරියට. Okay, then I say, sometimes I might not know how to answer it in age appropriate ways, and I say, give me some time. Okay, I know the answer, but I don't know how to explain it to you because you're so young. Just give me some time. I'll come back to you. Then we will talk. Internet refer karla. Then we have a lot of sources, right? We can watch videos, and there are a lot of websites as well. So, මම ඒවා refer කරලා then I understand. Okay, so මෙයාගේ වයසට මේ ටික තමයි තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Then I explain. I explain each and everything. Even the LGBTQ community, the stuff, the standards, and all. I explain him in the way that he can understand. So I appreciate those questions, even the violent ones, like the killing things and all. Then I have a discussion with him. Hey, what you karane kill that or committing a thick then you are the question. Then do you feel happy after that? Then sometimes he says no. Then he might come again. Then might attack. Then I say, like, see, it doesn't end. So violence is not the option. There are many other options. Why don't you come and talk with that person? Likewise, we have that kind of conversations, and I think that is how parenting should be.
You know, Amali, like the content that you are putting out and the things that you resonate with, okay, will fall into the category of, for many people, many parents, as modern parenting. Okay, you know what I mean? And then this concept of modern parenting comes with its own pressures, right? What has that been like for you? Because not only are you modern parent in your home front, but you showcase modern parenting on socials. So you have that pressure, and you know, you have your coaching that you do. You also have managing, maybe your family or people around you. What kind of pressures have you faced the most?
And also the pressure to be perfect.
Because
අපිට advice කියනවා නම් මෙයාගේ කොහොමද කරන්නේ? මෙයාගේ පුතා කොහොමද?
True, that was there. I mean, or Kireka was there with me for some time.
But there with me,
I was feeling it. Yes, I was feeling it because in my mind I was like, I want to be that perfect parent, the one that I'm talking about on my videos. That my son should be like this. He should be the perfect child, and I should be the perfect parent. And then everybody can learn. Watch and learn. So we'll be the ideal couple. No, it doesn't happen in that
what
way.
was that learning like for you to go from there to like, I just want to breathe. All the mistakes, it's fine.
It's fine.
How is that for you?
Now, yeah, it was so hard for me in the beginning, right? Because now I know the things and I know how to do these things. Right? Then I was like, always I should be calm. I shouldn't get angry, but it's not me. When I get angry, I yell at my child, and then all of these the parent-child relationship. You know, I get angry. Still I am getting angry, and I sometimes I raise my voice. Sometimes I make my wrong decisions. But now I'm at peace with it because I know, like, the more the mistakes I do is not a bad thing. And mistakes are not bad, because when we try to be this perfect parent, perfect child, then it's so pressured. I was so pressured that sometimes I was crying and all. And then again, one day I was thinking, like, why should I be like this? I mean, this is not me, right? This is not me. And then I got this wonderful book from Dr. Shifali, Conscious Parenting.
I feel like
I've heard of this book.
Okay, she was.
But I've heard of conscious parenting as a practice.
Yes. So so what she did, I went through her book, and then Out of Control, that was the book. So conscious parenting, like, you have to be in this moment, and then try to witness the child. What is the message, the underlying message behind the behavior? Sometimes they don't know the actual words, so they do some kind of behavior, and most of the behaviors, almost all of the behaviors, are either triggered by you or they have learned by you. Right? So you have to cure your inner child. So that is the main message I got from her. And then yes, I was sitting back one day and then reflecting, and I realized that I'm not perfect. I cannot be perfect. I will not be perfect. So as my child, so rather than trying to be perfect, I will start living in this moment, trying to understand what's going through with him and what's going in me, then work it out. And from that moment onwards, I felt a lot of peace. and still on my videos, I talk about my mistakes. This I have done, but you don't do this. Okay, there's something you should think about. And like this. Now I know, by mistake I have understood the things that I can do to correct them. And then now if you come to my house and stay for a while, you will hear me yelling, yelling, and my child screaming back at me. Those things still happen, but the most important thing is I make the amends. When we have an argument, and after the argument, I reflect and I go and say, the thing that happened, I don't like what happened between us. Okay? So one thing is, I was lowering I should lower my voice. And then then he said, I'm sorry, Ammi, I shouldn't have tell you like this. Then we talk like, okay, now next time, if the same thing happens, what should we do? Like the problem solving thing. So I talk with him. So that amend part, that is very, very important.
And in what you're sharing as a parent, when you have such high expectations of yourself, the larger frustration becomes that your kid is not matching up to the expectations. If I were meeting this, by now my child should have been this. So unconsciously, words are dropped towards the child, and then the child gets this like implicit message of, why did I say, did I do something? Then that they create their own narrative, because the brain hates to have an incomplete story. So then you're worried about your expectation, but how your expectation comes out onto the kid, it's not visible to you at that point. Then you're blinded by it.
Well, it comes to this, I was telling Mushma also, our generation, I'm assuming you're my generation, but like has so much pressure to be, or we put so much pressure on ourselves to be the perfect parent. Like I talked to some of my friends also. We want to work, we want to be there for our kids, we want our kids to excel at things, we want them to be good athletes and studies, like, or even just be happy, which itself is such a great task right now.
Yes.
Like, which our mothers, maybe, I don't know about your mother, but like our mother's generation and their mother's generation, they didn't really think about parenting so much, right? Lamai haduna. we can't, you know, Rama can't, you know, they didn't focus on it, right? Like if I ask my mother, what did you do at this point? They're like, oh, I didn't think about it. I shouted at them in this point. You know, we forgot about it. And that pressure is making us very stressed as mothers. Like a lot of my friends also stressed because we can't meet everything what we want. How do you see that? Like also we follow influencers like you. We are also always on Google saying, oh, he didn't eat this today, what am I going to do? Like, you know, he's showing this sign. Does he have ADHD? You know, like we are like overthinking a lot of parenting. Like, how do you think you are contributing or not contributing to that kind of pressure from mothers? Yeah.
First of all, I try to be authentic as much as possible. Authenticity is not something very, very rare, especially in the social media thing. They all want to show their glamorous lives and, you know, I used to watch those videos when my child was very young. Feeding videos, food preparation and all. I was obsessed kind of because I wanted to give the best to him and I want him to eat each and everything I make.
Oh my god,
Yes.
I have that problem.
No, like she's right. I have seen a plethora, like so many videos about, so I got this from the garden and today I just thought this is what my kid wanted. I'm making it from scratch. I'm like, I'm very happy that you can do this. But at the end there's also like, this is the way. As a subliminal message, this is the way to nourish your kid. And I'm thinking, no, that's not the way. That is a way. It works for you. And then moms who are like, oh my god, because first time moms, pregnancy, the anxiety is so high and it so happens, guess what? You go type that, you get that video. Like, oh my god, I'm not doing it. Right? So yeah, like, how are you contributing and how are you managing that? So authenticity and then what?
Yes. And then the other thing that I focus on is expressing my own mistakes. I tell, honestly, I tell like this is what happens and this is how I address that situation. So likewise, I don't want to be this fake person. That is not what it is. And most of all, my followers, they say like, oh, last makeup karala, last background ekak thiyala thanakata gihin, you do the videos, then people will watch more. Yes, I know they will watch more. But then again, I will be showcasing that bubble ekak athule inna ammala kiyala kiyanne missing. They are not real. You know, like parenting is not that. We can't be so beautiful and elegant all the time. It's not that. But when we do that kind of videos, when I feel like this, when I do that kind of an artificial thing and artificial environmental thing, when I do those things, yes, people will watch, but will that make me authentic? It doesn't go with my thing. It doesn't go with my way.
So, like, what's the reality of your household as a parent?
Yes, that is how my house is messy. My kid is messy. Sometimes he doesn't want to have washer and brushing teeth and even in a bath. That is how it is. That is how it is. So, like when we share these real stories, that is when I think the bond happens between the parents. And that's why I want to do through my channel. Rather than showing the beautiful aspects of life, even with the child, like I say, like, it's not like that. Nobody can be happy all the time. It's a tiring thing.
Energy to be happy.
एक और social media के pressure एक आपके ना लेते हैं ना, like हमें काम में you get it instantly.
Yes, true.
There's no time it takes. You don't have to work hard for years.
No, yes. Now I think this generation, these young adults and the teenagers, they see it and they expect everything to be like that. Because everything instant, right? Instant money, instant fame. Everything should be instant beats. So they will do anything at all to get to that extent, to be famous, or have that perfect body. So that is not the right way. I always say to my son, there are two ways. One is easy way and one is the right way. Easy way is easy, but that is not always the right way. But easily again, then when it's stuck on then it is very hard to come back. So always, even though it is hard, try to do the right thing. It may be hard now, but in the future, that is what it matters.
Yeah, and the thing with like parenting also is now you will have psychologists, like me, I'm a psychologist as well, and many others online. What they put out over there, sometimes, this is my observation, it's in a chasm. You know, you're controlling all these other things and you're giving advice to parents. That's like, yeah, if you have the ideal situation, if you have the ideal spouse, the ideal financial situation, ideal housing, you don't have to worry about food, you have a great in-laws, that works. And sometimes it's rude of that. So then parents, they watch this and they're like, Mama, ek try karani. It didn't work. Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah.
This research said this about this. Now maybe this is the case. I'm like, no. No. It is just a part. And we as clinicians also contribute to that fear and the anxiety and the angst of a parent wanting to measure up, meet up, do this, do that, you know, like being there, paying attention to your kid constantly is what's going to create like a healthy attachment. This is not true. Who's going to be able to be there with the kid 24/7? And then you're actually going to mess the child up because the child will not know how to recognize that secure attachment can exist without the physical presence or touch of the kid.
Yes.
Right? That part. So it's like this is a really great thing that you're doing to say like, yeah, hello, look at my hair, it's all shit now, but I want to give you a video
Yeah.
on this.
But also, Rushnu, what you were talking about, Amali, you read a lot, you bring that into the videos. How do you make what you read outside culturally appropriate for our country? Like relevant,
Not language.
not language, like අපේ සංස්කෘතිය එක්ක යනකොට, you know, like මේක තමයි අපි කරන්නේ, right? This is our heritage, this is the way we do things.
Yeah.
Some things can't be copied, pasted. Eka, like, do you think about that?
Yes, I do think about it. Then, before we go into that, let's think about what is culture. The culture, I don't know, like in Sri Lanka context, culture cultured, like and the way, you know, like keep and quiet, wearing long things and not showing the body parts, and then obeying obedience, you know, like if an adult says this is this, okay, then that is that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Mandinator, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, not questioning the other. That culture, that is the thing that comes to our mind automatically.
Yeah.
But is it the culture? That is the problem. Like we don't have a proper definition about culture. I mean, I'm talking about other countries. So culture is something evolved with people. So
Yeah.
people, we evolve. Like we have different things like the situations change in social, emotional, and economic, and everything. Technology is changing, but still we are clinging into that past culture frame. We are still
It's confused with traditions.
yes. Tradition is okay. Tradition is one thing. We have to
It's
respect.
confused with that.
Yes. We get so confused with that, and because of that, you know, like when somebody is going against, like questioning things. I mean, questioning is a really good thing.
Just
Right? It's a very good thing. That is
that's
the,
our job. That's what we do.
yes, we should question, and that is where the creativity begins, imagination begins, innovation happens. But in schools here in Sri Lanka, in schools, in our home atmospheres, we don't encourage questioning, right? Like when a parent say, this is the way to do it, and the child say, no, there is another way. We can do it like this as well. It works. It can work because these children and this generation, they are so equipped with information. Just fingertip away.
Lot of information we never had.
Yes.
No,
Some
and
things we didn't know at all. Because that is how it is.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It doesn't, learning is not top to down, you're taller, you're older, you teach this way, you know, to the younger and the shorter and small one. It's a
In
moving
that
process.
sense, like your perspective you are imparting, and you are imparting to your kid. But we live in a society that we can't control, right? Like, I mean, we would like to send to a very modern, open school, but we can't find that, right? We have to send to the schools we have. He will have to associate with people who don't think like us. Do you worry influence like you can't control those things, right? Like will he take your way of thinking or that, like, or reconcile around?
Yes, some might say like I'm a very radical parent, I have very strange beliefs, but as I think you asked me about worrying, because there are different thinking patterns, different people, different kids coming from different households. Okay, so rather than worried, I'm curious. I want to know how my child, I want to see how he copes with this, with those things. How he be with that kid. Solution. So what is the step? So as a parent, then I can understand, okay, so my child is in here, like, you know, maybe aspects in the social emotional aspects he has to develop. And as a parent also, sometimes I might have to change my beliefs. It is okay, like, you know, changing beliefs and perceptions. That is how we
are ready to change and be flexible.
Yes. That is flexibility is something very, very important. And if I want my child to be flexible, first of all, I have to be flexible. They will learn. He will learn by looking at me. Mama, he will never be able to do that. First of all, I have to learn. I have to be flexible. I have to learn to let go. I have to learn how to accept another person's idea, even though I might not agree. It's okay. You don't have to agree with each and every person, but still, okay, I accept your view. This is how you see it. I accept it, but this is my view. You have to accept it as well. So we have peace. Like that. The communication part. So I want to see how my child is doing out there in society, and he knows that I am there. If he falls back, if he having a problem, then yes, I am there to help. I mean the guidance. I'm not going to I don't like to interfere. The interference part, I really don't like to do.
That's very interesting because a lot of mothers, sometimes we have a problem letting go. Like we want to control everything. Maybe the fear also that something bad will happen. Or my mom is gonna be here, right? This is what I think is best for you. So I don't want to let go, and see if you're going to try that. But what you're saying is a message important for, I think, a lot of mothers out there who have
100%. And also it's natural also. Like the reason that happens is because, again, it's a brain thing. The brain does not like not knowing. That area of like, okay, we don't know this. Now, how do I respond to an unknown? Right? So when you spoke about flexibility, there is that aspect that actually every human, we have the potential to be very flexible and accepting. But what we tend to miss out is the readiness to engage with that in an unknown situation. So bring that awareness for that readiness. Like, am I ready to actually do this in this situation? I have the skill, but am I ready to do it? And do I really want to do it here? Because then it's your ego, right?
Okay.
Like, but I did it this way. How many parents have I seen say, I walked to school and mom was like, why should you do that? It's so convenient. It's like, but it was a different time. Are you supporting your child to manage and evolve with the times in a manner where they're grounded? And they feel like they're on solid ground, no?
Yes, because we as parents also don't know what the future is going to look like. Right? It will be completely different.
So uncertain.
Yeah. So given that, coming back to your channel, you have given parents so much of advice. What would be the most important thing they take away from you?
Whatever you want them to take. One thing. You cannot say I have 3 things.
Okay. One thing. Please learn parent.
And watch your channel. Please like, comment and subscribe.
Yeah, please do that as well. But my channel like but there are many other sources.
Yeah.
But still, please invest time on learning parenting. So parenting comes with education aspect and special psychology. Parenting right? It's a 360 thing. You have to sometimes be a doctor, sometimes be a nurse, sometimes carpenter and a chef. And everything is there when you become a parent. You have to enroll all of those job roles as well. But when you learn parenting, when you learn how to establish that secure attachment, especially in the early years, especially in the early 10 years of a child's life, that is where the magic happens. That is where we lay the foundation. And you know, like, we don't want to build if the foundation is solid. So learn parenting to lay that solid foundation. In the later life, you can reach to the sky with your child.
That's true. You know, parenting is a skill, and like anything you learn progressively.
Yes, you have to learn.
You can improve.
Can improve. There's no perfect parent, so yes. It's a messy thing. It's a messy thing, but still.
Constant learning process.
Yes, and it's a journey. You go with your child. So it's a continuing thing. Like you help your child, and your child helps to understand yourself better. He reflects your emotions, your behaviors. He reflects, right?
Yeah.
He
It shows the parts of you that you don't like also.
Yes.
That I haven't seen before sometimes. Sometimes his small action or small behavior, small word is enough to trigger inside something emotional inside me. So that might be my inner child. Yes. So that is that. Like you have to heal yourself. So child is there to help to heal yourself.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one.
I just have, before we wrap up, that's the beautiful thing to wrap up with, but just one last question. Is there a time limit to when you can be like, okay, now I've stopped learning to be a good parent, or like, I've mastered it?
Oh no!
Is there a
No, learning is a continuous process. It's a lifelong process. You will never stop. Like it's each and everything. Now here also today, I have learned something from you too. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. So it's like that. It's a lifelong process, and we
Though
cannot
we would
stop.
like to master it, we can't.
No, it's not a course, no. Every 6 years, like 6 months, 1 year. It's not a curriculum like that.
Yeah.
You can't control the situations. Therefore, you can't control the outcomes. You can't control other people. So each and every situation is different. Each and every day is different. So it's a lifelong process. That is the fun of it, I think.
It's fun. And your child will always be your child at 16.
Exactly.
It is same for all the parents, no? Like the child will be a child, but still we have to let them go. That is very important as well.
And that's I think one of the toughest things sometimes.
Yeah.
Very
Like
tough.
the moment when you're not in the position of like having to let go, you would like to think you will be able to let go. Right? But when you have to cross that bridge, it's difficult. Even if you had the secure attachment.
Yes, it is difficult because we love them and we have done so much of things and
Can't protect them.
yes, can't protect anymore the fear of going out in the wild. But still, that is their life, so they have to learn. No?
Yeah.
They
And
have
you
to-
as a parent also change with your child as it grows.
And technology as it
Yeah,
changes.
technology and the way you parent changes as years go by. And you are trying to teach people one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Yes.
So it's a job that never has somebody to
Never ever.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amali. It was really nice having this conversation with you. And thank you for your patience during the setup process.
And thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, it was a pleasure. We were
It's a great honor.
really excited to do this.
Yeah, and I hope everyone learned at least something
And I also
useful.
hope it's recorded.
It's so long.
That is the first thing. We'll have a company in there. Hi, I'm Rushma.
Zara here.
Again. So if you like what you watch on this channel, please follow us for more because we are going to be bringing you a lot of stories from women in Sri Lanka who can inspire you, empower you and motivate you. So to support us, please do
Subscribe, like, and comment on our channel. Thank you.